bring snacks.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Spoiler Boys.
Spoiler Boys.
Yes, we are here again to spoil Ahsoka for you. We are on episode 6, entitled "Far, Far Away." So we're close to the end at this point. We're almost there. Only 2 left after this one. So y'all know how we like to start, gentlemen. At the start of this discussion, where are we sitting at? Gage, I'll start with you.
6.
Okay. Interesting. What about you, Jokes?
I'm at an 8. Like I thought I enjoyed it.
Okay. I'm with you, Jokes. I'm at an 8. There's only one thing probably that I was disappointed with, I'll say. We'll get into that when we, get to that point. But why is 6? B?
You want me to ruin it for you now, dog?
I mean, do we want to run through it shot for shot, or?
I'm good with him going.
I mean, I can tell you. No, I can tell you exactly what it is, dog. Like, I did not hate the episode. However, I feel like this moment that has been awaited for so long. Where is Ezra Bridger? What is going on with Ezra? How is he? What's happening? What happened to him? Blah, blah, blah. The joint felt so uneventful.
That's my problem.
Literally like, oh, hey, what's up? Hey, you.
Yeah,
what's up?
That was my big issue.
We talking about, dog. If you don't see this man and run over,
knock
let me
him
just
down and tackle him and hug him.
Dog, if these little turtle people don't try to kill you because they think you trying to kill him, the way you tackle this man, because you literally just put the entire galaxy at risk for Slim. So when you see Slim, you literally, after Ahsoka told you, shoot the joint. You can't take this chance. You gotta make it happen. Hey, Slim. Nah, this like, oh, what's up?
Yeah, like,
hey.
Y'all too cool? Like, what have we been doing this whole time since the end of Rebels? At the start of the show, it's been all about, I need to find Ezra. Ahsoka comes back to the city or whatever. Any word? Any word? When you been out, any word on Ezra? Nah, ain't no word yet. And this is the reunion that you give us? Like, so lackluster.
Dog, it was thoroughly disappointing, bro. Like, it just felt like it. I mean, y'all gonna be mad at me, dog. I just like want Sabine to die before this show is over.
I'm not mad.
I want him to die, dog. Like, I want her to die, bro. Like,
damn.
Nah, listen to what I'm saying, dog. Like, there's a certain level of selfishness that is like unforgivable. And I don't know what else you deserve if you put the whole like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if Thrawn is going to actually escape, you know what I'm saying, if it's going to work out or not. There isn't, for me, where she is right now, there isn't a real level of redemption. You know what I'm saying? And like, I could possibly have had, like, given her something if there had at least been like you so cool now that you gonna act like your entire life hasn't been terrible since this man left your presence.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't hated every moment of your inner being since this man left your presence. So much so that you allowed Ahsoka to die because you didn't do anything about that, because you could have tried to do something. You went back on your word that you gave to her, and you put the entire galaxy at risk. Even Thrawn knew it. So it was like, hey, dog, you're not even supposed to be here.
Right.
You put the whole, like he told her, you put the whole galaxy at risk. And she was like, I mean, so you gonna let me go away?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
no care,
like,
nothing.
To an extent, dog, a part of me had an appreciation for the like the idea of like, I've dealt with you before.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not
it's been a long
scared
time
of
since
you.
I've seen a familiar
Like,
face.
Yeah, I'm not scared of you, you know, whatever. Like, I could appreciate that. I can even in the moment kind of appreciate the banter that still exists between Ezra and Sabine. But it's been almost 10 years, young, and what you have threatened life itself with for everyone else, I just feel like deserves so much more than hey
Yeah.
Hey, you.
1000%.
You know what I'm saying? And so it just felt so uneventful, and it feels like it certainly didn't add up, or like his reveal, his just like,
I'm just leaning against the hut.
Like,
Okay.
I'm not even really mad at him in terms of like leaning on the hut, because for him, he thinks everything's sweet.
Right.
He's just like, I knew you eventually would come. Everything must be great. And she's just like, let's talk about that later. But what?
Okay, listen, I was mad at that. I really felt like that just should have been, that conversation should have been had. Like, that was the bigger side for me, was just like, she tried to just, yeah, everything's cool. All right, I'm ready to get on a ship or do whatever so we can go on home. Like, well, as of right now, that there's no plan for that.
Right, there's no option for that. It was terrible. It was terrible. That reunion we've been waiting for with Ezra was absolutely just terrible. And complete lackluster, no feeling, just like Gage is saying, the whole, they're too cool to, she's actually too cool to like really show her feelings after all this time what she's been giving us. Like, that's just, that was a complete letdown of a reunion and a reveal across the board. Just,
I needed more, dog. I needed her to be like, I love you. I was always in love with you. I traveled the galaxy / multiverse to come find you.
Run over to that man and jump in his arms.
I put the whole world, man. If you don't take your clothes off and jump in a hut,
jump in that hut
right now.
You know, Ezra been alone all this time, girl.
We need some more younglings.
Come on, yeah. It just,
even the ambiance of like all of that. Once she meets like the little turtle creatures or whatever, it gets all happy and jokey in that moment when everything was so like serious and dreary. Here's Thrawn finally, and here's his army and all that kind of stuff. And then it just gets happy and jokey. I was like, this is kind of weird with her yelling at the little dog thing she was riding, you know, trying to chastise and make me feel bad for running off in a fight. Like, we just met, bro. Why am I gonna fight for you? Like, I don't know you like that. Like, and then the whole silliness with it just felt off once they started building.
Yeah, definitely felt like something got cut or we missed something, because like when she gets into that fight and starts walking, and then like the wolf thing comes back to her, which I was like completely surprised. I'm like, well, I guess she's walking now. I don't know how she's gonna find Slim.
And he just
and
ran,
the girl comes back and she's like, you left me. And he's like, oh, my bad. When did y'all become when did y'all develop? At what point did you become Artex to a trail, dog? When did we get when did you become Falcor and never in this story? Like, y'all
he's listening to you.
Understanding, like,
what, dog? No. This episode is easily the worst episode of all the episodes in the show so far, and it should have been one of the best episodes so far, because it is the episode that gives us back this character who literally just like went missing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? this is what we waited for. This is what it is. And again, I don't hate the episode. I think there are very important things that happen. I think there's stuff that they're setting up that could be great over the course of the next 2 episodes, for sure. But the whole point of the episode was finding Ezra. That's what it was. It here now.
Right.
Don't do this to me. Don't let us get to the planet and we still don't find this dude. So the fact that we made it there and we found, that's the point of the entire episode. And so if the point of the entire episode is so lackluster, so uneventful.
Well, I'll say the point is Ezra and Thrawn, like revealing those 2 characters to us. We found Ezra, and we finally, after all these different shows y'all have been teasing Thrawn's return, we finally found him. Now we just gotta get him out of this galaxy. Let me
help to put my disappointment, my mental disappointment, into a physical space for you. When she is walking through the naughty village, right? Watching them, looking at the children and, whatever. And she begins to kind of smile and get an understanding of these people who live here, whatever. And you hear his voice. And the camera pans to catch him over her shoulder. I had goosebumps. And then her reaction literally was like, oh, never mind. Goosebumps were just like, wait. We was just playing.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? And I don't. It just didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I'm sure that there are people it worked for. Maybe there are people who are deeper or much longer, like Rebels fans or something, who will find in their, moment of reconnection that's how it should be. But it certainly doesn't feel that way to me. It didn't feel that way in the moment to me. And it certainly doesn't feel like it. I mean, I guess realistically, it's kind of like, what was she going to do? What was she going to say? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I made it here. I don't have no plan. I don't know what we doing. I don't know where we going. I don't think we leaving. I just wanted to be with you. Like, the idea of I literally risked the entire galaxy.
Everything. Yeah.
Knowing, 1, I might not find you, but 2, I found you. I might be stuck here.
And I've unleashed this horror upon everyone.
But, everybody back home, that's on them. I'll be here with you, baby. That to me is like, that's love. Like, that's like, I came here for something. I've been missing something Jedis ain't supposed to get. And what's up?
But I'm technically not a Jedi, so tent right here. Been long enough. We got things to do. But in that moment, she's just like you just said. Like, I'm watching it and I'm waiting. Okay, he's around here somewhere in the village, helping somebody fix this. He's around here somewhere. And when the camera starts panning, I'm like, all right, he's gonna be right there when the camera hits a certain spot. And I see him, I'm like, bet. And then it's just like, hey, what's up? Like, hey, what's up? I'm like, why are y'all standing here just talking this way?
Now, I thought the play was gonna be I thought it was gonna be like, once they saw each other, it was that uncertainty, like, I don't know necessarily how I feel, and it was going to be that pause, like they did, and they didn't really react to each other. Then I thought
and they, was going like
they were just going to run to each other or something like that. That was the part that I was missing, because I thought that was going to occur.
What that's called, Joe? You want me to tell you what it's called in grown people terms? That's called blue ball, sir.
Yes.
That's blue ball.
Yes.
Not a strong pun. Blue balls. For your goosebumps. And I'm gonna tell you something. There is no number possibly higher than a 6 for blue balls, sir. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
0.
I can say numbers are decreasing. I can say that numbers are definitely.
I'm just like, dog, if I was at a 10 for the episode, it would have easily brought me down to an 8. I don't feel like the episode was a 10, and that was easily worth 2 notches. And I'm not telling you that by the end of this joint, I'm not going to be lower than that. What I'm telling you is that for it isn't even just the moment of the episode. for all intents and purposes, in a lot of ways, even though this is supposed to be a show about Ahsoka, we've all been saying
This is
this
a Rebel
is
show.
Rebels season 5, bro.
Yeah.
This is the moment the series has been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
And it is inarguably the worst moment in the show.
Yes.
I cannot in good faith take a sideways 8 and turn it right side up for this. I can't do it. It's no sir. No sir. Not even. I was so disappointed, bro. I was so disappointed. So, and I'm still disappointed.
Oh, we're all disappointed. I think we made that very clear right now. That reunion was caca. Like it just was. And it's also, good to note that even though the show was titled Ahsoka, yes, we just say this about Rebels. Ahsoka's only in the intro to this. She's not in the episode whatsoever. It's a quick little interesting conversation while they're flying through hyperspace inside the whale with her and Hu Yang about telling stories of, I like them stories we used to tell back in the day when we was, the Jedi, Academy and Temple and all that stuff. And he asked her, do you have a story to tell? Like trying to say, like, I know there's more to the story than what you said. And she comes clean. Say, yeah, I didn't tell Hera everything. Sabine kind of left on her own and went with him. And she said, I don't know if I could have trained her more to make the right choice. And he's kind of questioning her like thought process. Like, well, what if what was that her choice to make? They had that little quick.
Well, what if that was her only possible choice?
Right. Have her kind of think in a more like different way or whatever, because the Force it's not absolute. Like it just kind of helps push you in the right direction type of deal. He was trying to explain to her. She ends up getting frustrated, like, just tell me one of them stories and let's just keep going. Then it cuts to the opening title sequence.
I will tell you that, yes, it's called Ahsoka. Yes, it's a very short, but it is, what is being said there is the most important thing of the episode. There's a couple of very, very important, very cool things there. One, yeah, Hu Yang, tell me a story. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah,
that's one of the
that was cool. Yeah,
ever happened. Period.
That was solid.
I'm not sure what story he was about to tell, but but at the end of the last episode, and we discussed this, the enlightened version of Ahsoka that is not trusting of the Jedi, but is learning to be trusting of the Force. This is the same person who was just like, oh, I don't even know where we're going. I just had to trust the Force. It's getting whale mouth. Let's just get them out. You know what I'm saying? So him saying to her, that the Force works differently in different people, and maybe the choice she made is the one that she had. The possibility that the Force led her, this is the right decision to make. The right decision to make isn't to do this. The right decision to make is to go do this, is highly possible. And for Ahsoka to kind of bow out in that moment and accept, okay, Hu Yang isn't in tune with the Force. Slim is not a person. So,
and I think with him saying that to her about like maybe that was her choice that she had to make, like with the Force and everything. I think that does lead credence to when they get to the planet, the Baylan and Sabine and all that. When they get down to the planet, they're sitting in front of the three mothers and they see her and they get agitated, like, that's a Jedi. Why? Like, that's a loose thread. There's something about her I don't like, and they instantly chain her up and put her in jail. Like it really threw them for a loop with her being there. So
100%, because there is definitely something about Sabine that is about to become a big thing. Like I don't really have her dying. I was just being angry, but
she deserved the smoke. No, she deserved the smoke.
But yeah, she all the smoke. But like, for them to not look at the Jedi trained in the Jedi Temple Jedi and be like, that's a problem. Slim turned her nose up and was like, it dog,
Yo,
reeks
she's
of
straight.
Jedi. First of all, reeks of Jedi? Hey, this youngin' can't move.
Yes,
Can't even use the Force.
So that to me means they're getting ready to do something that shows that she has some very different, innate version of being in touch with the Force that maybe is something we've never seen before, right? Maybe it's something that just is something we never heard of, and I feel like that is our one context clue. Because when that happened, I was like,
I was sure they were going to.
Yep, I had the
Shin
same. I looked
or
around.
Balin.
Like,
I was like, oh, my man actually is still he's still on the good side. Maybe he's just been trying to get to this point. But nah, then they put Sabine in the I don't even the rays of
no. If I'm Shin, Balin's apprentice, in that moment, I'm hot.
very
Y'all
much
scared
so.
of this one? She can't even force push me, bro.
right.
I literally just told her she don't have no powers. I just said this, like I just told her you don't have no powers. I don't know. And she even looked like, who, me?
Yes, you.
They wrapped her up with the witch orbs, bro.
And dragged her right off.
Took her to the dungeon, bro. And like, she in that joint. And if I'm her, I'm in that joint like, I'm the one that reeks a Jedi. I must be I know I'm doing more than pretending I can force push that lock open, sitting in that room with her eyeballs closed. I don't know, bro. It's just there's.
All I know is if she truly reeked the Jedi, y'all should have done her in right then and there. If y'all was that worried, y'all should have put her down right there.
But they couldn't because Balin gave his word, and Balin and Thrawn are both men of their word. Yeah, like say what you want about being evil or not or whatever.
Yeah.
Thrawn is that, if anything else, if nothing else, he is a man of his word. So he is going to allow Balin to keep his word. She gonna find him, and if she finds him, we gonna find them. You know. Continue, bro.
All right, so we're just bouncing around having a good time here. Jokes. B already talked about the Ezra reveal. I want you to talk about the Thrawn reveal. What are your thoughts on that?
So I know when we talked about like when they first showed us that the hyperdrive engine, I made the reference. I was like, Star Destroyer could fit in that thing, and I was being a little funny about that when I originally said that, but. While they were I don't know, we call that a castle or whatever the building is that they're in. They're all
so
around.
They landed on?
The joint they landed.
Yeah, like a temple or something.
Bro,
like,
if you look at it, it's the exact same like structure. It had the pillars on it. It's the exact same thing as the one that they were on Cetos. It's just not ruined. Like it's nice and pristine.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's the exact same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And they have relayed the message like, no, he's on his way. And I'm thinking this dude, like when they get there, I'm thinking he's just chilling wherever in the lair, in the back cave or whatever. But they're like, no, he's on his way. So I'm like, okay, how's this dude doing whatever? And then all of a sudden, things start to shake. Sabine is still in prison, whatever you want to call it. And then all of a sudden, while they're standing there looking up, we just get the giant Star Destroyer. No, that's whole scene. That was one of my favorite moments. Just seeing that Star Destroyer just pop up right in front of all of them. I was like, oh, my man still got his ship. And of course, they made sure to go underneath so you can see the emblem on the bottom to know that this is Thrawn's Star Destroyer. It's a little, I don't want to say fully in shambles, but you can clearly see it's a little battle torn, probably from going through that extra hyperspace jump and the damage from the last battle from Rebels. And I was just like, okay, that joint is going to fit inside of the hyper engine or the hyperdrive thing. But of course, it slowly descends upon all of them. and it's almost like a perfect landing to where the platform that they're standing on goes right into the area like TIE fighters and things can come out of. And of course, first thing that we see is an army of stormtroopers. And I was thinking back, I didn't really allude to the fact that when the ship got lost, that there was like platoons of stormtroopers and stuff still on that ship. That was a little bit of a surprise to me to see this dude with the whole army right then and there, ready to go. I was like, oh, okay. And then cut through the middle, and it's Thrawn. Like literally, this dude chilling, like ain't nothing happened. Just walk up, casual conversation with the sisters, and then just acknowledge it. And I was like, this is the same Thrawn right here. Clearly, you can clearly see it, but he was ready to get off that planet.
Oh, he's ready to go.
He's ready to get off that planet. But I just love the way that they brought him in. Star Destroyer, the whole crew, the one stormtrooper with the gold like accent in his.
My man Enoch.
Hey,
Slim's on my team, dog.
That is
clean. I'm picking Slim.
Like, Captain Phasma with the whole silver jump, but there's just something about the normal stormtrooper outfit with the gold in the face. That jump is dope.
Yeah, I agree. It's dope. I like the way his stormtroopers just kind of look. Like they're dirty, they're battle torn, but they give off a vibe like, no, we're ready for the smoke.
They got like whatever, like I don't know if that's tape or whatever it is.
The wrestling tape. That's what I was calling it. They got like that wrestling tape on them.
It's red, which is very, very giving you the First Order type vibe with some of the colors that they introduced. So this could be like that foreshadowing of what it is to become. But I like the way that they look. They clearly stand out from the normal stormtroopers, and they look like maybe they have aim. Maybe in all the time that they've been away, maybe they've learned practice. Maybe they have aim.
They've had time.
They can't find one man.
No. Maybe he's hiding himself with the Force, or maybe he didn't find him a threat.
I don't think he thought he was a threat. Like wherever he was, I feel
nah.
like
I disagree. Why? Listen, if you so desperate to get off that joint and go rule the galaxy, why are you worried about Slim? You would leave. You just got finished saying we'd leave him stranded here. Like when he told them, go ahead, send a platoon. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And they like, shouldn't we send more? And he's like, nah, we've already taken too many losses. I'm not. And that's one of the things about Thrawn. Like he takes the loss of life. Like there is no unnecessary loss of life for him. Mm-hmm. Like he actually does care about and take care of like his troops. So like their devotion to him as a leader makes a certain kind of sense. Because he's like, nah, I'm not gonna waste. And then he's like, plus, if they don't, whatever, like when it's time to go, it's time to go. Like we gotta go. He wants that dude so bad. I would just be like, man, let her stay. Pack up, let's go. All right, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, let him out. Let her go. You know what I mean? Or whatever, and we can bounce. He doesn't like loose ends, clearly. True. Ezra's a loose end. And he doesn't generally show it, but he don't like Slim. He hates that man, and he wants to do something to him. There's no doubt in my mind. So he wants to see Slim get punished.
He's got no problem leaving any of them behind whatsoever.
Not at all.
Like told Sabine to her face, yeah, you go, take your weapons, you can go, but just know when I leave, you're staying here. You're gonna be stranded here. Like, I'm not.
When I say we leave, we leave.
Yeah.
Ain't no 5-minute warning. We is gone.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't know if his expectation is that she gonna come back and be like, I'm trying to go with you. He gonna be like, okay.
Gonna work all of them.
What reason should I even allow you to accompany me on this voyage back to the universe?
And look, kept his him and Bailiff kept their word to her. Yeah, go find him, and then y'all go track her down. And once she finds him, you kill him.
Kill them both.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Cook them both.
My word is intact. And clean up loose ends, like B said. Yeah.
He used to be a Jedi. I don't trust Slim anyway.
Yeah, I
Send him
can
out
get
there.
that vibe early. Yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as he okay.
He knew who he
Okay.
was. He knew his name.
That's right, he did.
He said,
yeah.
"Oh, you must be General Valen Skip. Like you must be." Like he heard of Slim. Slim ain't no. You know what I mean?
He even called back to that at the end of the episode when they were at when she was asking about him, like he used to be a Jedi. Like, come on, like I'm not. No, we're deading all of them. I'm not here for all that. I'm like, yeah, Thrawn. That's when he started showing me like he had the ambiance going on the whole time, but like in that closing sequence when he's talking to Morgan, like Ahsoka who? Okay, I want to know. I want to know what planet she's from. I want all the information. I want to know who her master
I want her
was.
mama name, her daddy name, her social security
I need
number,
social,
her master-
date of birth, blood
I want
type.
to know who her master was.
Yeah.
That's what I think is the most important thing.
And when
Straight
you
up.
if you see a space whale come ahead, treat with prejudice.
Fact that
Like,
he don't know who
he's not
who
playing
Ahsoka's
no
master is. I was like, oh,
I think that's gonna be the thing because he knows Anakin
Right.
and he knew Vader and he just like knew that Anakin became Vader.
mm-hmm.
So if he finds out, and I don't know how he's gonna find out, but if he finds out what the lineage is as far as that's concerned,
Maybe
he's gonna use it to his advantage.
maybe Morgan and the other witches somehow.
I don't know if they honestly know. Like,
I'm saying how to use witchcraft or something. Just
She doesn't know. Yeah. Oh yeah, to figure it out. That's
yeah,
possible.
to put it together. Yeah. Since
Yeah,
we're
I mean-
getting new force powers in here, so we can walk around an area and figure out everything that just happened. You know what I mean? So maybe on the other side, they're looking to a pass, knock her out or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Depending how the next episode goes.
They said
But-
somebody coming. He said,
Oh yeah,
"Do this, Ahsoka Tano. You told me he was already dead,
Yeah.
yeah."
well,
When he
Ba-
said
Ba-
that,
Ba-
I was
told me
like-
he finished her.
I was like, oh, you ain't.
Did
about
you
to
see
live.
your body?
Right. That right there was
Yeah.
he said he did. He's a
Okay.
Jedi, Slim.
Yep. So
Man,
we're gonna
trust
treat
the
it as if
Jedi.
she is alive until we see her dead with our own eyes. Like,
That's
That's
a
what
set.
I'm
Let me ask you a question, dog.
Yeah.
Do you think all the stormtroopers are dead?
See, I was thinking.
ooh,
And they being kept alive by like the magic? Like if what's her name from the last episode was actually a dead vamp, was like dead, and he was running around being a Sith Inquisitor.
Yeah, because the thing is,
He
when
didn't
they-
have to stay. It's not like he had to stay near Morgan or whatever.
well,
They on the joint on the planet where these sisters are. This is the original home
yeah,
of the Dathomir. They are the Dathomirians. They named Dathomir after themselves. Like when they got to the planet, she was like, "This is where my people came from before they went to Dathomir." So like, this is the origin of that, and that force power, and whatever. That magic's strong, and they hate Jedis.
perfect.
I feel like
Yeah, because the thing
It
about
could
it,
be.
especially when Enoch talked, it was like we know what it sounds like when a stormtrooper talks through like their speaker voice box. There was something a little bit different about his voice that I was like, it
An
reminded
Inquisitor
me of what's his name, and I'm like, ooh,
Merrick.
Merrick. I was like, it reminded me of that a little bit for it. So that could be maybe it's not all of them, but maybe for the sake of numbers.
all the regular quote unquote ones are dead, possibly. But I can see that being a thing. I can see that being a
I'm
thing.
just saying, it. I know I get pressed over stuff like that. Like, hey, dog, what in the world has been fueling this man's ship for the
Right.
past 9
Right.
years, bruh? Slim just floated.
And if I'm not mistaken, it was missing an engine. I feel like all the engines weren't there.
I'm gonna tell you, of all the things I was looking at real hard, that wasn't one of them. You're totally right. But like, I was trying to be like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
That's your solar power.
they've been there long enough to.
Ain't no solar out there. It's
Go
dark and cloudy.
wildlife, I mean, look, there's clearly life there, so like
Right.
they could
Yeah.
live. Like I'm not, like I got beyond like how in the world is this man sustaining an entire army? Like where is he getting enough food?
What y'all eating?
And-
that was the first
to
thing I was like,
feed-
what y'all eating out there?
Turtle?
All the bones of the whales are up in space. Did y'all like
Whale bones,
go up there and
talking
get the whale
Teenage
meat?
Mutant Mini Turtles,
Mm-hmm.
and wolves. I guess little wolf dog joints. I suppose.
Dog, whale.
I mean, again, the full kind of animals
Jokes,
are there and they can
yes.
survive. I'm saying.
One of the big engines on the back left was out.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So
I mean, that just might just be why he can't just like
Can't-
leave.
yeah,
Planet. Like I get that. You know what I'm saying? But like
needs the hyperspace.
you're still running that joint. And that's a lot of people, bruh. That's a lot of people to feed, man. And I'm just saying, them dudes might be dead.
I would like to see an explanation for that next episode.
I'm good with zombie stormtroopers.
I'm not the way they look. I think they look kind of cool. So I'm here for it. I like
They
the
definitely look cool. Like I literally just found my favorite stormtroopers. Period.
they kind of fly. Like the straps on them, they're not the same on everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Like the gold.
I'm about it.
I love the gold patch marks on the ship and on them, and different places. Like they've been battling and just repairing themselves, whatever that substance is. You know what I mean? Ever since they teleported there and over the years they've been there, I think it's kind of fly. Here's something I want to ask y'all: What do you think Baylor's looking for out there? He was mentioning like the cycle of like Empire, Jedi. It goes over and over and over again, and there's something.
I think he's
here.
looking for the source of the force.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something about that planet has to do with the origin of the force, and I think that's what he's looking for. When he talked about looking for that power, initially I thought he might have been talking about having access to the world between worlds, and in some way that could still be that. But I think that whatever it is that Sabine is going to be, I think that like we've seen, like if you watch Rebels, even in like Clone Wars, we come across like very large, like giant creatures that are like the will of the Force. Like they just have. I think there's going to be something like that that's there. I think in some manner that's what he's looking for.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's going to be a whole new order in some way, but
I get the feeling that that's maybe what he's trying to do, but trying to find a different way of doing it from what it has been, I guess, between Jedi and Sith for all these years. Trying to find a different way to do it. Like maybe gray Jedi-ish, something along those lines. Like, 'cause I don't see him like he's a mercenary. I don't see him like bad or good. He's a mercenary. He's hired to do a job. And right now,
I mean,
his
the
job is-
reality of it is that, to me, the witches should not necessarily perceive Ahsoka as a threat any more than they perceive Baylan as a threat, because she also walked away from the order.
Right.
So the question is, what is the difference in the way they walked away if, in fact, for some reason, they view her as being a threat? Now, I can understand why, and that Thrawn would view her as being a threat, but they wouldn't, just based on just this episode alone, they wouldn't view her as a threat to their, they're basically like the three sisters from mythology, right? So they pull the thread and they kind of can see time and all that kind of stuff. So like their perception of Sabine being there and being a loose thread that they don't like because she's not supposed to be there is different, I think, than having Ahsoka show up, who also, I guess, maybe is not supposed to be there, so they can see that. But the idea of like, oh, she reeks of Jedi, I don't feel like they would get that same thing from her, because she also walked away from the order, which is a thing that makes me feel kind of weird about her feeling that way about Sabine, because Sabine has never really been trained that way. And Balin talked about he called them Boken Jedi. When he's talking to Shin and kind of like telling her the stories or whatever, and talking about being there when the temple got burned down, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Yeah.
He refers to them as Boken Jedi, that like they're not truly trained in the Jedi way. You know what I mean? That they're like kind of poorly trained after the fact, never spent time at the temple, didn't get true, full like Jedi training. Ahsoka did at first. But and then he makes important note of the fact that he did not train her that way. That like he says, I trained you to be something different, and gave her a version of the Jedi training that still has some level of the same kind of like disciplines, I think is maybe what he's referring to. That like what Ezra would be is like an uncivilized version of Jedi, kind of a, you know, a half-baked, you know, version of Jedi or something like that, and not the full true thing. But you know, that remains to be seen how it plays out. They can make me very angry very easily. Next
I was going to say, do you think we get to that with these last 2 episodes left, or do they hold on to that for something bigger later down the line?
I think we'll get something to allude to it. I definitely think, like, I think B may not be too far off when it comes time to like saying maybe like the origin of the Force or something like that. Like I keep going back. Like, I feel like maybe this is like, if it is the original, like the origin of where like the Force came in, maybe we start talking, or maybe this starts reverting to like High Republic era like type thing. Like, I know there was another planet that Jedi where, you know, it came up when developed one. I don't know, maybe this planet is also that planet per se. Obviously, we don't know, other than the sisters, we don't know fully what caused, like, clearly, at least from what we can see, there's very little life on the planet, but it clearly at some point in time, it seemed like things flourished on the planet, at least from that little bit of area having that temple there. Like, there was at least a decent amount, I guess, of people in that particular place for it. But I feel like in the fact that that planet is just, obviously it's in a whole nother galaxy that obviously can only be reached by either by space whale or super hyperdrive engines. So it's to wonder maybe why the planet was abandoned or whatever it may be for it. But I think we'll get some.
It could just be that they were a migrating people. Like, she said that her ancestors used to ride the whales. That's kind of nuts. So, like, if that was a thing, if they just used to, and the other thing about that is that seems weird to me is that, like, this joint is a graveyard. Like, the Purgo come there to die. So to me, that seems like it would be a one-way trip of something. Although maybe the one that Ahsoka is on, being the really big one, is coming there to die, because there were a bunch of small ones. So I'd assume they're younger. And it's just teaching them maybe the migration path to know where to go when it's time for them to pass. So maybe they come there, they learn, and they go back.
They have their ritual process or whatever, and then the young ones go back around.
And maybe they could figure out how to get back, or, you know, they went and they settled on Dathomir, and they just happened to settle there. You know, the people who did leave, you know, settled there. It doesn't necessarily mean that something was bad or wrong with the planet. It could just be that they were traveling. It's like, I mean, when you can do space travel, you have to think of it the same way as like people getting on a ship, you know what I mean, and going out for unknown, uncharted waters or whatever. And when you get there, yo, it's crazy, there was already people here, and then you go report back, we discovered a place. No, dog, you found a place that people had already found. You know what I'm saying? So like the idea that they went somewhere and found a planet and made that planet their home and renamed it Dathomir, is not different from people coming here and naming a place New York as opposed to York, because there's already a York. So this is New York. Like
Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
Right. We the Dathomirians, we found this planet. What we gonna call this joint? We gonna call the joint Dathomir. That, you know what I mean? Like I just think they would just. I think it's okay that they just maybe travel. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that like the planet was in trouble or that they were trying to get away from something or whatever. It could just be that they were, you know, they're like a religious sect. It could just be that they were like, we're gonna go and spread the word of our, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, whatever. Like you don't know. That's they are the mothers of Darth Maul, dog. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Them stormtroopers could be dead, dog. They brought Darth Maul back to life. I'm just saying.
Hey, listen.
I think you have a strong theory with that one. I think so.
At least some of them. Definitely at least some of them.
Yeah.
It just seems, listen, dog. Something about the way they present them, they just seem spooky.
Yes, they do. All right, how do we open the next episode?
Ahsoka arriving and pulling up to the whale graveyard, and we'll kind of see how those whales interact with the graveyard at that point, Cord. I'm pretty sure that's where we'll start out at.
Okay.
Better be set in a hut, bro.
You know what's crazy? I'm kind of on leave with both of y'all. I'm like, either Ahsoka's going to pull in, like, you know, or I thought
He was trying.
Look, as he was coming out, my brain's like, oh, I know how this going to sound.
Bandit.
No, Urza's going to pull in. No, I think they'll either start off with them traveling, with the tribe going someplace or whatever, and them having a little discussion, or with Ahsoka coming into orbit and, you know, trying to assess the situation. So I think it starts off with one of those two options, personally.
I mean,
who did she get to first? Sabine.
who did she get to first?
Yeah, did she get to Sabine and Ezra first, or did she end up running into Thrawn first when she gets there? Because I imagine Thrawn's ready to pull out of that place.
Right.
Stop
I think she's gonna.
You tried.
Yeah.
He tried, dog. He tried. You see a smile on his face.
He
He tried, dog.
No, she's going straight. She's going straight for them because that's the last place she knew Sabine was, and where, you know, all of them are. She's gonna try to beeline straight for there. She's not gonna know what Sabine or Ezra is yet.
I mean, I have to imagine that they're gonna show up and they're gonna get attacked. So I don't even think it's gonna be, because my man said, if you see a whale, bruh,
blow it out.
Blow that joint out of the. I was like, damn, dude. It was like,
let them have it.
we're the
So,
only ones that are getting out of
As
here.
far as I'm concerned, when Ahsoka shows up, it's gonna be on and popping, and
Also,
it might be enough going on that Sabine and Ezra aren't far enough away that they're like, what is going on? Like Sabine's gonna have not told Ezra what's going on yet.
and it's gonna start popping.
It's gonna start popping again. Nah, that can't be what it is, because Balin and them are tracking them and on their way to come get them. So here's what I think happens. I think somehow Balin, Shin, Ezra, and Sabine end up on the same team having to fight the zombie troopers, because the troopers are tracking them and they really there to kill all of them, including Balin and Shin. So I feel like they're gonna end up having to team up to take out the troopers, and then they're gonna find out the troopers ain't real people.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sabine's gonna be like, it's just like when I fought
Merrick.
when we were fighting and the dude Merrick, and they're gonna say the same thing. They're gonna be like, oh, Slim was not a real people. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if Balin knew that. I feel like Shin should have made a big deal of it though. Like, I feel like she should have been like, Master, when Ahsoka sliced him open,
This
He
dude
turned
turned
to
to
dust.
dust.
like black
his
dust.
physical soul
Green.
left
His soul
body.
left his body, and it was this eerie.
I seen it. I seen it.
Yeah, like, so either they know that that's just a thing that she does / they can do, or she's gonna be like, oh yeah.
Mare did that when
Yeah, that's what happened.
When
I
Ahsoka killed him.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't know, but I feel like at some there are parts of me that because of the way that they're leaning into Balin and his story, I feel like they are leaning towards him ending up being lenient and not leaning like whatever power it is that he's seeking, either not being what he thought it is or coming to the realization that he is seeking it for the wrong reason and or that it is a power that is for or belongs to somebody like Sabine or something else.
That's what I was about to say. Does he see it in Sabine and decide to kind of align himself with her because she might have what he's looking for to change?
Maybe. And you know what I mean? In some way, like I can feel that they are leaning the story towards him not continuing to be quote unquote a bad guy. Because now he's not really a bad guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's an anti-hero. And so he is out for himself. But it would also appear to me that as a person who seems to long for the old ways, but they were wrong, they were weak, loves the traditions, loves what they stood for, but realized that the way that they were going about it was weak or allowed them to be overtaken, you know what I mean, left themselves, that they got a little too much hubris. And the Jedi were a little too big for their britches. Like, what happened to the Jedi, in a nutshell, is exactly the same thing that is happening to the rebels right now. They're allowing the remnants of the Empire to live and breathe and breed right under their noses within their own ranks. And that's the same thing that happened to the Jedi. The Jedi became political envoys and got involved in politics, not a thing they were supposed to do. And literally, the person who was the head politician who was giving them or sending them orders, somehow, with all of the abilities of the Force that they had, nobody knew this dude was actually the Supreme Leader, Sith Lord, under their nose the whole time. They're like, the Sith don't even exist. You tripping? The Sith they're not even a real thing. They don't even exist. Clearly, that dude had to have had a master too. So like, they've been around for a minute. So I feel like what happened to the Jedi, they allowed the Sith to breed almost within their ranks, right under their noses. Same thing is happening, and Balin is like the aftermath of an old enough survivor of that to have loved the ways of the Jedi, but to know they need to kill. It's very much like the way of the samurai. Like, the samurai is a dying breed. I love our traditions and what we do, but this won't work in this world anymore. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And so I do think that in some way that's probably what it's going to end up being. It's going to be that, like, he's going to have a turn, and I don't think Balin survives the show.
I don't think so, unfortunately.
Look, we know that Ray, the person who's playing the character, passed away, unfortunately, before the show came out. After he did it, so I can't see them focusing on him as a character in the future, even if that had been part of the original plan. So I don't think he survives. I think Shin does, and there's a part of me that feels like she either becomes someone else's Padawan or quote unquote graduates and becomes someone else's master.
Okay.
But I think they are leaning towards her. I think they are very much leaning towards female Jedi and Ahsoka, Sabine, Shin. You know what I mean? Like, the show is much more surrounded around the female energy that is Jedi, which is something that you see throughout, you know, what the run of Rebels and even Clone Wars kind of was, right? Kind of that, no, there are all these other Jedi, and some of them were the most important ones, and many of them were women and so forth, right? And kind of, you know, so I do think they're leaning a little bit more in that direction, and I like Shin a lot, and I'm not positive why, but I do, and I think some of it is that she's just doing what she's told. She comes off as being more evil, but she's like, but
she listens
even
to
as a student, she don't come off Sith. She is very respectful. Master, what are we doing? How come whatever? And even when she kind of questions him, like, do you miss the old ways, or do you know what I mean? Like, it's very there. I have seen people theorizing that she might actually be his daughter, like his actual daughter. Mm-hmm. I'm not totally sure about that, but it does beg the question of where did she come from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we know where he came from. Yeah, they already established that.
Yeah,
the Jedi aren't supposed to have those attachments, so.
But he's not a Jedi no more. Yeah.
No, yeah, true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, he raised her to be something different. It's very possible that he left the Order, or the Order left him, right? Because it didn't like really exist anymore. So I guess the question is whether or not somehow in the next couple of episodes we get more backstory on him.
Especially where he was during Order 66, because like that, like we just keep having so many Jedi that are just we knew some were off world and whatever for that, but I would like to see a little.
I feel like he said he was at the temple when it burned, or he watched it burn, or he.
It's one of those two, yeah. He's either watching it burn or he was there when it burned.
So I would like to get a little insight if he could explain like where he was during Order 66. I feel like that would probably give us a little light to maybe some of his choices and things for it.
But there's also a part of me talking about what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes that is wondering whether or not in some way we're going to get backstory on what Ezra has been doing for the past 9 years, how he survived. There's a part of me that thinks that there could be some sort of level of flashback of like him and Thrawn getting to where they are and him breaking away from Thrawn and how he's been on the run. You know what I'm saying? For this entire time, or whatever it is that, you know what I mean, he's doing. Where it was just kind of like they got there and he was like, nah, you ain't get it. And
like you never. They had been keeping tabs on him, because initially, you know, they gave Sabine the thing trying to track him down for it. Because I'm eager to see, like, I was just like you said, if this is Place of the Force, I don't know if they would have necessarily kyber crystals on that planet, because I'm wondering if my man has made himself somehow another lightsaber, because technically he wouldn't have a lightsaber,
right? But it doesn't matter because she has his lightsaber.
So she won't have a light. She'll just go do her Mandalorian thing.
But she also is gonna have crazy force powers, sir, just like Rey did. Her force powers are just gonna manifest themselves in a moment of need, and she's gonna pull his entire ship to the ground. I don't know.
And who knows? Like if Bailiff dies, she can get his lightsaber. Who knows? You know what I mean? Depending on how the story goes.
I feel like Shin would take that, and she'll be a dual wielder at that point, similar to Ahsoka.
Learning from Ahsoka. I mean, look, there's a lot they could do, right? And there's a lot of questions that are there to like be seen through. So there are a lot of options where, depending on how this goes and where it ends, there's obviously potential for another series, right? And that series could be Ezra. This is how he survived for so long. It could be Ahsoka season 2 and what they do following this. It could be something about Sabine. It could be something about, it could be any number of things, which is what I like the most about the series so far, is that it is giving them a lot of options for what they do and where they go with stories that could continue to be told within this space. This episode just happens to not be, because she also doesn't, after Sabine gets attacked the first time, she no longer has what she needs to be able to figure out what those last coordinates were. Somehow, this wolf creature is able to track itself to the turtle rocks.
Only thing I attested it to was maybe he smelt Ezra on the lightsaber,
on her or something,
on the lightsaber possibly, and since it used to be his, bro, I don't know. I was thinking the same, trying to figure out.
I was trying to figure that out.
How the wolf dog thing knew where to go to put her on the right path.
There is a lot of plot armor in this episode, bro. that's just like, how's she gonna find them? Well, clearly the wolf thing is gonna come back because they're best
now
friends.
now they're randomly friends all of a sudden.
I would like that extra 10 minutes of whatever that got chopped from the episode.
Well, 2 episodes left. Like we explained, a lot of questions still to be answered, and we'll see how we zero in on those when it's all over. But where are we holding our rankings at now? Gage, you're still at a 6?
Definitely. No, it's not happening, bro. There is. I can't. I was so disappointed. I think I was being very forgiving for even the things that might have bothered me a little bit about the episode, because I just felt like she was gonna find him, and I was gonna be.
He was gonna have this
excited.
moment.
You know what I'm saying? It was gonna be like, yes, and it wasn't. It wasn't there.
Huge ball drop. Jokes.
That's my only issue, honestly, with the whole episode. It's just that it's their interactions. Otherwise, I think everything else was presented well. Like, I still have to stay in an 8, even though that one thing, like Gage,
you don't have to,
but I want to, and I think you explained it very well. But that's the only part of this episode that really rubbed me the wrong way. Everything else I thought was solid for it. So,
Jokes, would you like me to go back and reiterate for you that it does not make sense how she found him? That it does not make sense that this wolf is now her best friend.
I get it.
All right, now I'm just saying. I was being very forgiving. I feel like, but only because I thought coming to the end of the episode, it was gonna be like.
I can do a 7. Like, I still, other than that one, I could do a 7.
I'm going with a 7. I gotta be honest. From the time with the dog until Ezra was a huge just fail across the board.
It's definitely a pizza episode, bro. Because all pizza is good, but not all pizza is great. It's good, not great.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you on next week, same time, for episode 7. So until then, we'll catch you later with Spoiler Boys. Deuces.
Loading snacks.